Okay, welcome everyone. This is podcast 46 for Zero Doubt Club, where we share topics on mind, body, and soul, topics that are of interest to our clients and our audience and potential clients, etc. This is podcast 47. What did I say?
46.
Yeah, this is podcast 47.
Don't short us one, man.
I'm trying not to. But today's a good one. It is on sleep. Man, the more research we did, we realized how important this is, huh?
I know, right? It's like we forget how important sleep is until someone smacks us in the face with a 50-minute educational video, and you're like, whoa.
Right. We made the very intelligent, smart choice of partnering up with the NASM, which is National Association of Science Medicine.
Yep.
On continuing education for us, for our trainers, and they have a library of I want to say at least hundreds, if not more, of very, very intelligent, professional experts that talk about specific topics that absolutely tie in with personal training and, again, mind, body, soul health. So we educated ourselves on sleep enough to do this first 101 type podcast, enough to definitely talk about it and bring awareness of its importance, because again, it definitely exceeded my expectations of how important sleep is. But we're going to explain it the best we can, and this is podcast one of definitely two, where we will bring in an expert on the next one. But Jeremy and I became super excited about at least sharing what we've learned, and then and our personal experiences, and then we will absolutely bring an expert for the second one that we will absolutely have on sleep.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's that important that Eric and I were actually debating about, should we just get an expert on right away? But no, we did do enough research, and just with the latest research that's out there that we didn't even know about is just enough to really, like you said, make sure that we're all aware consciously, daily, how important sleep is. I understand that we have a lot of things to do in life, and we make a lot of what they really are is excuses when you really look at how important sleep is for all the negative effects that it can cause to the body that we will go over here. But yeah, I mean,
okay, let's do a quick intro. Let's just do a quick check-in. How'd you sleep?
I slept pretty good. I mean, 8 hours.
8 hours? You got 8 hours?
Yeah. I've noticed that in the past, I would say year, I've been going to bed early.
Yep.
Like 9:30.
Yep.
Sometimes 9, and then waking up between 5:30 and 6.
How do you know? How are you tracking your sleep? Aura ring?
Or a ring.
How often do you check that data?
I check it daily. The thing with it is it shows sometimes that I don't get like enough deep sleep,
right?
But I'm in bed sleeping for 8 hours.
I crush deep sleep. I don't get the other, which we'll talk about in a minute, but like efficiency and whatever else, but I crush deep sleep. I'm at an hour and a half at least every night, sometimes 2 hours, which is amazing, but we'll talk about that in a minute. What else is going on in your
look? I'm
busy life?
I was walking the lake actually yesterday. I walked the lake in the morning, and I had like an ayahuasca. They call them downloads because it's things that happen in ayahuasca. It's such a long journey, and there's a lot happening that you don't necessarily bring it all back.
Right.
And yesterday I'm walking the lake, and I go back to when I was on the second day outside with the group, 60, 70 people. And at one point I knew and I felt and I was like breathing with everyone else. You can tell how we're all breathing at the same time. Everything's breathing. And I was walking the lake, and I was, I practiced presence, no headphones, no music, nothing, just listening to the birds and trying to be really present. And I just felt how like alive, and that we're all breathing. We're all just one unit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Quick update. We have the 9. That's September 1st. All equipment's on order. The 9 is painting the gym. Downtown Cleveland, here we come. We're less than a month away.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. So that we have going on. We have a new personal trainer we hired, which we'll introduce in a podcast or two. Steven, he's amazing and super knowledgeable. What else is going on?
A lot.
Meals is crushing it.
A lot.
Anyway, yeah, so grateful, blessed. So you're ready to jump in on sleep?
Let's do it.
Any other updates?
No, I mean, maybe we'll see what comes up.
So there is some construction, so you might hear it. Maybe we'll be able to edit the audio out, so we apologize for in advance. Someone's doing construction on the first floor, but anyway, what we're going to talk about the topics is what happens while you sleep. Quick education on that. How does sleep affect your performance and health? A complete eye opener. Can't wait to talk about that. So definitely worth listening to this entire podcast. If we bore you with the first part on what happens when you sleep, it's still worth learning and worth then hearing about how performance and health is affected. And then some tidbits, some recommendations on how you can get better sleep, some good habits. And I gotta say that was also eye-opening, because I think my morning routine is on point. My evening routine sucks. It's all over the place.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. And I think it really relates to, phone, a lot of other people in the household.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to kind of buy into the same evening routine, if you know what I mean. At least get close to it.
But I definitely check phones by me, sometimes watch something, sometimes listen to a podcast. So I'm just not letting myself get to a natural sleep. So I gotta, again, this research and education, I think is going to change that soon. So that'll be part of my update on the second one we do with the expert. But that's a big one. So anyway, we'll get into how you can get better sleep, and I think that's an eye opener as well. So we're going to save that to the end. So what is sleep? Oh, by the way, shout out to Danny. Danny, thank you. She actually typed out the notes from this expert's education on it. So that was super helpful. And but anyway, Jeremy. So we're going to reference it because it's a lot of this is new to us, but it's really interesting to share with you guys. But go ahead. What is sleep? Yeah.
Sorry, kind of went down the wrong throat there. That's how big of a question that is. So sleep is a time when our body, our mind, our entire system rests to restore its energy. At the end of the day, everything is energy. There's physics, quantum physics has already proved it. Nothing is solid. We're all 99.99999% open space, energy, vibration. And we got to plug in. We got to plug into the source.
We got to recharge is the point.
Recharge. Just like you got electric cars need to recharge. We're the same. We're no different.
Yeah, and a great analogy that this expert explained was when you don't have enough sleep, your thought of and so many people flaunt, I sleep 4 hours a night, I sleep 5 hours a night. That's not a good thing. It's like, again, the analogy she used was comparing it to alcohol. It's like, I don't get drunk on 3 drinks or 4 drinks, but you're absolutely impaired, and that's why you think so. Same with sleep. Those that flaunt, I only get 4 hours or 5 hours. Your body is not recharged. Like, there's way too much evidence from experts that have done these testings. You're just not recharged. So your cognitive functions, as good as they may be, maybe you're an athlete, maybe whatever, you're still not at 100%. Is the point?
You're not even close. And there's studies out there, like you said. I mean, just from this class that we took, 3 studies that I really saw was kind of eye-opening because they talked about sports. Basketball, they did a college study of men's basketball, and they gave them 1.5 hours of sleep less than what they usually take.
Right.
Okay, and I'm sorry, 1.5 more hours of sleep than what they usually take. 9% better free throws, 9.2% better 3-point shooting.
Right.
Okay, tennis, same thing.
And these are professionals. These are
College
athletes that are already at peak performance are now hitting new peaks, is the point.
New peaks. Tennis, 1.5 hours more sleep than their norm, 36 to 41% improvement in serving accuracy.
Right. So the point is you can flaunt the fact that you're not getting the 7, 8, 9 hours that's required for 100% cognitive ability. You need that sleep to fully recharge. Your battery might be at 80%, and yeah, you're still functioning, but you're not at 100% is the point. Not to mention there's so many emotional issues, right? Anxiety, hunger. I mean, the list goes on negativity when you don't have enough sleep. But let's talk about what happens when you sleep.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's kind of fly through it. But
yeah, because there's a lot of stages.
There's
well,
a lot of
many,
there's a lot of stages. But okay, so first you become drowsy, right? Then you start falling asleep. So your heart rate, your eye movements, your brain waves, breathing activity, it starts slowing down. You may experience some muscle twitches or movements, but again, this should and typically only lasts a few minutes. Then you get into what's called non-REM. And again, REM means rapid eye movement. The goal is to get to REM. And that's how they track what step of sleep you're in. When you sleep 8 hours, you typically go through 5 of these cycles, and they last about 90 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this first non-REM, this N1 is falling asleep. The second N2 stage is light sleep, right? That's when you've fallen asleep, your heart rate and breathing again slows down, there's still no eye movement, your body temperature drops, and then the brain starts producing these sleep spindles. And this lasts about 25 minutes, or about 1/3 of that sleep cycle. So that's the longest cycle. N3, this is the deep sleep. This is what you want. You want at least 1/3 of your sleep to be 1/3 to 1/4 of your sleep deep sleep. And this is where when your heart and your breathing slow down to the slowest rate. Your body's fully relaxed, your tissue's repairing, your immune system strengthens. I mean, this is what's physiologically happening to your body. So don't tell us, I sleep on 2 or 3 of these sleep cycles and I'm fully recharged. No, you're not. And there's way too much science that tells you you're not. And then the final phase is that REM, that rapid eye movement phase, which typically is an hour and a half a night if you're doing well. And that's where you're dreaming, your eyes start moving rapidly, breathing and heart rates actually start increasing. Muscles become paralyzed, like they don't move at all. your brain activity is increased, and those are where vivid dreams come through. But these are typically, this deep sleep is only 5 to 15 minutes. That's why you have that feeling of the dream felt forever, but it felt quick, because it is 5 to 15 minutes. And this was really interesting to learn how you're in non-REM for about 50 to 70 minutes, and then REM sleep, which is the deep sleep that you want to get to and stay in as long as you can. That whole life cycle is 90 minutes. And then again, you want to have at least 5 of these per night. And that's what happens when you sleep.
That's the 8 hours.
That's the 8 hours. So, what's cool about the Oura Ring too, it talks, it somehow has the technology to talk about how efficient your sleep is, right? So whether or not it was uninterrupted and peaceful, right? I do make the mistake of leaving my phone on, right, and falling asleep with my phone on, and it'll just keep playing. So I'm waking up and whatever else, and I check the Oura Ring, and it's unbelievable. How does it track it? It's unbelievable technology. But nights where I do that, it's so obvious to the Oura Ring and the data.
Yeah.
So Oura Ring tracks sleep efficiency, restfulness. So did I get up? Was there a lot of movement? It tracks the REM sleep, which again, that's how I know I hit it out of the park for most nights, and deep sleep. Latency, which is how long did it take to fall asleep.
Yep.
And then timing, like it's better sleep when you're in with nature's rhythm, right? So we sleep better we're not nocturnal. We sleep better at night. Again, hats off, but also feel bad for those that work at night and have to sleep through sunlight and whatever else, because that's not nature's rhythm for us. And hopefully you're paid a lot more for doing that.
A lot more.
And you're paying for it in health and awareness. You are. So
unfortunately.
Unfortunately. But
that's also one of our tips.
is not to do that. Yeah, absolutely. But man, you had a great analogy earlier, so I explained it enough, and we'll bring the expert to explain this stuff
there's
a lot
obviously
more.
a lot of repair there, a lot of replugging into energy there. The dreaming, depends how you look at things, but there are some subconscious communication happening there. So there's a lot of important stuff.
A lot of important stuff. Half my deja vu feels like I first experienced it in some deep sleep, for sure. But you had an analogy to connecting good sleep to awareness.
Well, yeah, because when I went through this class, she was talking about how our attention, and when we get 8 hours of sleep, our attention is at its peak. And attention is the same thing as awareness or presence. And when you're super aware and super present, your body feels it on a cellular level. So you're calm, you're relaxed, you're present. You're present. You're at peace, right? And you can connect more dots that way too, throughout everything, throughout your entire day and throughout your entire week and through your entire month, right? Because you're super aware throughout the whole day.
Right. We also compared it to preparedness, right? When you're really prepared, then you can really, feel good. You can listen more. Your ideas get bigger and better. Again, this is where like sleep and awareness and preparedness, that all goes in, is connected, right? And engagement, right? Engagement with work, with non-work, with family, with people that you're speaking with, etc. You're listening. Your everything is increased with good sleep. And again, that's how everything's interconnected, right? So that you sleep well, you eat well, you work out well, then you'll sleep better because you're tired. It's all connected. And now you want to crush the day versus just getting through it because you're tired and over caffeinated, and it's just bad on the body.
Yeah, it's like, let's say you knew if you reached 8 hours of sleep, your battery's at 100%. Okay. And if it's at 4 or 5 hours of sleep, you're at 40, 50%. Which one would you choose? Most people don't think it's like that. And the problem is, or not the problem, but the case is it is like that. It really is like that.
And battery's a tough analogy because at 40, 50%, your phone still works.
Okay, fine. Maybe then it is attention, presence, power. Attention's power. So are you at 100% attention, or are you at 50? Are you kind of thinking about other things in whatever meeting you're in?
Right. And again, so attention equals awareness equals engagement, right? So we keep talking about it, and again, this sleep expert brings an awesome analogy towards drunk driving versus fatal car crashes. And driving sleepy or with not enough sleep is literally the cause of 1 out of 5 car accidents. So
right.
20%, more than 20% of car accidents happen because of sleepy. That's way more than drunk driving accidents. You know what I'm saying? So it's very similar.
Doesn't mean you can go out drinking, because the problem with drinking is you get bad sleep. So it sounds like twice as worse.
Twice as worse. So not enough sleep and you're drunk. But the point is that when you drink, and that's crystal clear to people, you're impaired. If you don't feel you're impaired with not enough sleep and not enough deep sleep and quality of sleep and all that stuff, you're just wrong. I mean, there's just too much science and studies that tell you that you are impaired, you are tired. In fact, they found the root causes of the Challenger explosion, Exxon Valdez oil spill, and Chernobyl, which I didn't know. The root cause was the people running the show were sleep deprived. And that's amazing to me. Because if you think about it, they didn't pay attention to some of the details. They weren't aware. They were tired. They again, it's just crazy. It's just so eye-opening to see that it was lack of sleep. Who knows?
Yep.
Maybe in Chernobyl they were drunk too. But
I didn't know about the Challenger.
Yeah, I didn't know either. But the people that were, because preparing for the Challenger for the week before, they were literally on like 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep because it was so much, and they had a deadline and whatever else. So that sucks. So it's, again, it just shows you what the delusion of I've had a few drinks, I can drive, or I have not had enough sleep, I can be fully engaged. Same delusion.
Yeah, I mean, it really is crazy how bad sleep affects you. I mean, let's talk about like all the studies now that they've done on the physical level, where, it causes, your energy. We know that your energy sources decrease, but what that does is that causes cortisol levels to decrease, which is not good in the mornings. Cancer risk increase, inflammation increase. There's the hunger hormones, which is the reason why, people are snacking and eating more than they need to. Messes up your gut lining, your stomach. And so now everything's going into the blood. It's like this avalanche of stuff, this avalanche of bad stuff that we are causing on ourselves because we think it's okay to sleep for 4 or 5 hours a day.
Right. That's all on like serious health on the physiological, like cell side of your body, because it's not, the cells are not repairing themselves. Your immune system is not, I mean, the list goes on. on the importance of sleep, and I will never take it lightly again. And I haven't really in the last year and a half, where I've chosen health as a priority. Man, my sleep has never been better in my life than when I didn't pay attention to my stress levels and my drinking and my eating and my working out and whatever else. And yeah, sleep always sucked. And I always, had 5 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep, and I got through the day. And I was one of those guys that flaunted the fact that I'm fine on 5 hours. No, I wasn't. I was absolutely not fine. And what a difference in life now that I'm getting 7 hours. But again, through this research, I now see that 7 hours is also not enough, and I need to pick it up another hour. But also the emotional well-being, that was eye-opening. Just the fact that yeah,
it's all related.
What does fatigue at the end of the day cause? It causes anxiety. It causes, again, I don't want to say confusion to a high level, but man, you're not alert. You're just not alert. Not, you get this underlying feeling that something's not right, right?
Well, there was actually a study that they did, I think, with like 18-year-olds, and they deprived them from sleep for, I think, 24 hours. And they showed them slides, like different emotional slides. One was like at a baby, one was like a scary dog. And then they measured their brain waves. And just by showing the pictures, it sent their brain like haywire. So the next thoughts after that would all be negative or emotional.
Right.
So it's like if you're not getting enough sleep and someone just, bumps you a little bit or cuts you off, like you could be going into such a negative story, and this vicious cycle happens. It's almost like you don't have willpower or control. So
yeah, because you're not fully recharged. So that's the point, is why do we even do that to ourselves, Jeremy? Why do we give ourselves 5-6 hours of sleep and watch TV till 1 o'clock in the morning and get up at 6 and pound coffee in? And why do we do it?
Why do we do anything? Because our story tells us that that's okay, or that's what we do.
It's just amazing knowing that again, it's one more day that I gotta like get through and coffee up and blah blah blah, versus trying to crush the day. And just, man, what a difference this is. Like, I almost feel like companies should require employees to like wear Oura rings and
well, maybe one day they will, and it's not going to be, you got to work 8 to 6, and then they're going to take family time into consideration too. Maybe it's by how many kids you have and how old they are.
I know, but it's way too intrusive. That'll never happen. But
never seen.
I bet employee engagement is absolutely correlated to quality of sleep at night. Besides,
that's for sure. We already know that just by this,
Right. But yeah, I mean, some of the when you're deprived of sleep, what again, these studies have shown increase in tension, anger, confusion, fatigue. We've talked about vigor, anxiety. It's like, man, I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. I want to be happy, healthy, aware, not fatigued. I want to crush the day. I don't want anxiety. I want to have faith. I want to feel good. Anyway, guys, so I think we've gotten the point across of what sleep is, of what it can do to you negatively, and the importance of it. And we as personal trainers and life coaches and nutritionists and so on, all those dots connect. It's really hard to get good sleep and deep sleep and feel good and not move around if you are not working out, if you are not eating proper food. It's all intertwined. You can't take a piece of the puzzle out and the puzzle still looks right. To get deep sleep, you still have to do other things right, is the point, and vice versa. You have to do those other things right to get good sleep. So sleep, again, it's a very important piece of the puzzle, but so is some of the other things. And to get good sleep, you need to get your workouts in. You need to put healthy foods in your system. no alcohol or a lot less of it. Again, because it's toxins. It's what keeps you up at night. It's what makes you not feel good at the end of the day. Yes, it gives you that quick gratification, makes you feel good for half an hour, but then these are the effects that happen the next day when you sleep, etc. So that's just our 2 cents. I know we're not sleep experts, and we preface that in this talk, but we wanted to make sure that you get the information that we've gotten.
No, it's just awareness, because we forget, like we said in the beginning of the podcast, we literally forget how important sleep is. It's like we say we know how important it is, but yet we'll put a couple of an extra hour or two of watching shows ahead of it. So how important do we think it is?
Right. That we get no value out of, and whatever else. How much more value do you get for crushing the next day than that one more episode that you binge watched, or two more? Okay, let's get to topic 3. So again, just we talked about what is sleep and how does it affect performance and health. Like there's no question that that it absolutely affects people. And again, what I didn't realize was that even an hour, what a difference it makes. Besides the fact that there's nights where one might get 4 or 5 hours. We're talking about 7 versus 8, or 6 versus 8. I mean, 5 versus 8. That's anyway. Get some sleep. So how can
so maybe
topic number 3? How does one get
I would just say by starting by getting 1 extra hour. Just start there. Like if you are a 5 to 6 hour person, start by let's see if we can get on a routine. That's number 1. I mean, anything that you're going to do, a routine has a much better chance of succeeding, right? Building momentum is everything, even with sleep. If you're only getting 5 hours right now, but if you start a routine where you're increasing it 1 hour, maybe 1 month, and maybe 1.5 an hour the next month, and you get on this routine, you could be an 8-hour sleeper in no time. Right. So start by getting on a routine. If you're going to bed at 11, go to bed at 10. So, what do you have to do for that? I think we all know. Put the phones away. I mean, there's a lot of bad things happening with the phones. Number 1 is like the light exposure just from the phones.
Right.
Like we are supposed to be going to bed when the sun goes down. That's our natural biological state. If you look at humans thousands of years ago when there was no light. Yeah, I mean, not even, that's what I'm saying. It's not even that far back, but you can go all the way back, and it's all relates to they all went to bed when light's out.
Right.
There's all this light exposure, and then the melatonin hormone can't be released in your body, so it's harder to fall asleep. It takes longer to fall asleep. Right. So put the phones away, put the TVs away, don't have a TV in your room. I mean, it's that important. If you want to do this and build that hour of going to bed earlier, these are the things that you're going to have to do.
Number 2, manage worries. How does one manage worries?
So manage worries.
We only have 10 podcasts on how to do that. But
yeah, I would say on the bed night routine part is you have to manage them right before going to bed. Otherwise, you're going to be thinking about them while you're sleeping. So read a good book, listen to a good audiobook, or read a good book with the right lighting, okay? And take some breathing, some conscious breathing. Maybe do some 10 minutes of conscious breathing where you're just letting all of your thoughts out. So whatever thoughts you're having from the day, let them out. You can journal them, which actually works even better. Planning your day is also another way to really manage your thoughts and your worries. So if you have a lot going on the next day, write it down on the journal, everything you got going down, and let it go. Don't worry about it until you wake up. Once it's out on the journal, there's like some magic that happens, and it really does leave the mind. So journaling, reading, some light stretching, some breathing. You can take a warm bath, some candles.
Yeah, the expert did recommend, calming music. So there's lots of great sleep apps and sleep alarm clocks that help with building out a routine for you. routine. Get on one, right? I mean, that's the. I'm not one to talk from experience because I don't have a good one, but man, that's definitely a goal of mine immediately.
And that's why I mentioned it number one, because I think you can't really start without a routine. Otherwise, you're going to do it for one or two nights and then what? And then sleep bad again. Right. So it's like, just set the routine. This is what I'm going to do. Like you set the 100-day transformation challenge. You right. set it. Once it's set, it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
It really is sometimes that easy. It's your intention.
Right. Right. Control your temperatures. Make sure it's not too hot.
Yeah, I can't sleep when it's hot. So it's always
cool. Well, no one can, because our bodies should lower in temperature and then obviously increase when you're in deep sleep. But it's got to have a chance to cool down. And for you to fall into the deep sleep, you need to get through that cycle. And if it's hot, make sure you regulate that. So
if it's hot, yeah, you can maybe even take a cold shower. And again, conscious breathing is always a good solution.
Number 5, it's our favorite.
Work out. Work out.
Yeah, you work out. You get your steps in for the day. You get a great workout in. That absolutely makes your body and brain tired. By the end of the day. By the end of the day, on workout days, I have 0 issues falling asleep.
Yep.
Associate bed with sleep.
Yeah, no, that's remove the TV, remove the distractions. I mean, if you have to put your phone in another room, it really is that important, because again, it's the mind. All of a sudden the mind thinks, oh, okay, I got to check my phone for this email, see if this came through. And you literally can lose like a half hour. Easily.
And then you think about it, right?
So then you think about it.
So you think about it, and man, how many people work in bed, homework in bed, and again, A, you're not sleeping, and B, maybe you shouldn't send that email when you're tired and whatever else at 11 o'clock at night. You should be sleeping. Send that email at 6 or 7 a.m. after you've had a great night's sleep and a cup of coffee in the morning, etc. Or not have a cup of coffee, because the next one's limit caffeine.
Well, definitely don't drink coffee like right before going to sleep. Or even like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I don't drink coffee past, I think, like, the latest I usually will have a cup of caffeine, even including an energy drink, like if we're filming a podcast, is probably like 1 o'clock.
Really?
And that's late.
Yeah, my wife has a 4 o'clock cutoff. She will.
Yeah, exactly. So you need, like, I would say, at least a good 4 hours. At least, maybe even more. Everyone's different, I think, on that part. But obviously limit your caffeine.
The expert on podcast 2 of sleep will know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one, many will like this.
Nap strategically, yes, definitely. So you can also not necessarily have to nap, but what I like to do is just go and unplug or plug in, whatever how you want to call it, and just close your eyes and just breathe and just feel your body, and really, not even get into that napping mode or sleeping mode, but kind of almost in between. And it is a recharge. And even just 10 minutes of this will boost your energy.
Yeah, I think she said something like 15 minutes is a great power nap, or 90 minutes is that full cycle of sleep.
Full cycle, yeah.
Is what they recommend. And it is a full 8 hours within a 24-hour period is what's needed for a body recharge. So it does count.
It does count,
naps
for sure.
Do count towards your sleep. Yeah, but This was good. This was eye-opening again.
I mean, even for us, right? Like, I mean, we're the experts and we know how important sleep is. And now we know how even more important sleep is. Like, okay,
No. Yeah, this was definitely eye-opening, and I will absolutely take it to another level. And just in general, it's so easy to just keep a phone by you and on, and go to sleep at random times and not have that sleep process. And just like anything else, it seems intimidating to create one, right? Because it's change, it's growth, it's etc. Just like morning routines, just like working out, just like anything else. And once you do it, you look back and you're like, what was I even thinking?
What was all the fuss about?
What was all the fuss about? Why did I not do this sooner? I mean, that's my thought now on this healthy journey, is like, man, what was I thinking? Not working out, whatever else. So hopefully in a few months I can look back at a night routine the same way. And just what was I thinking? Of course, I'm a different human being. 7-8 hours of sleep a night, and maybe a nap here and there where I avoided them, and just a sleep routine, a night routine.
I can tell you got some good sleep yesterday.
I did.
I can tell.
On purpose.
You're really calm today. I'm very proud of you. It's
okay.
that important. Sleep.
It's that important.
Okay, I'm gonna go take a nap. Wish.
No, this was good, Jeremy. Good job.
Yeah,
you prepared. You prepared
Yep.
well. I'm proud of you.
I slept on it.
I slept on it. Okay, guys.
See
Hope
ya.
this was
Thanks.
helpful. Any issues, comments, questions, etc., drop us a note. And yeah, look out for podcast 2 on sleep, where we will have an expert on. Thanks. Goodbye. Take
See ya.
care.